has gotten me to the point to where I can actually like launch a show like this, which is something I'm super, super excited about. So hopefully all the handshakes are being connected. I'm kind of double checking that right now to make sure that everything is copacetic and working. So bear with me as I kind of click around here and make sure that everything is up that's supposed to be up. And then we can get into the nitty gritty of what this new podcast I just launched is all about. So let me just click here and make sure that we are actually live. Okay. And yes, we're ready to go live. I thought it went live automatically, but apparently it did not. So it appears I have to actually hit the live button. We're about to start, and yes, there we are. And we're going to go live here on Facebook. Go live. 3, 2, 1. And we're live here on Facebook. Welcome, everybody, to my brand new podcast that I'm going live on Facebook. And I actually hooked this podcast up to their new monetizing module, which allows you to actually charge an admission to watch this. So just to test this out, I make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to be working. Oh, it allows you to use a live stream key. That's very cool. Sorry, I got distracted here. I'm kind of surfing around as I'm surfing around. So I got this set up for my camera. I could have set this up for my Zoom. All right, so there's a couple little technical things on here that I probably have a little small learning curve about, but that's quite all right. That's how you learn. The more you dive into it, the better you get, the cooler things happen. So welcome to US Reconstruction 360. My name is Stephen Kimbrough. People in my comedy world knows me as Kimbrough. People I've been in a relationship knows me as Stephen. And everybody else in the podcast universe knows me as the Pod Brother. And this is Pod Brother Nation that you're on right now. So welcome. So yeah, I've been wanting to do this type of show for a very, very, very long time. And, you know, with the political climate and with the division that's been going on and the polarization of what's been happening and the conspiracy theories that used to be kind of fun, entertaining, you know, your crazy cousin who was like in the basement, you know, would come up with some crazy conspiracy theories, which you kind of found entertaining. And but now with the internet, it's actually like boiled over into the streets, and people are taking what is a theory and making it their reality, which means we have to react to their perception of reality and their perception of these conspiracy theories. And now what they do becomes part of our reactive reality. And it's like it's twisted. Like we shouldn't really have to be pulled in, but by default, because there's such a movement and such a wave with people that believe all this stuff, then we kind of get sucked into the vortex whether we want to or not. And that's one of the scariest parts of it. And that's partly why this actually kind of sucks because, I don't necessarily want to, um, you know, play around in this domain, but it appears by default I'm kind of forced to. So there it is. So with all that, I've decided it's time to launch my new podcast. And what is this podcast about? Well, we always are really quick to complain about the system and complain about, the man, and it's always somebody else's fault. It's the media, it's the government, it's the president, it's the Senate, it's the Congress, it's the rich people, it's the poor people, it's the desperate uh, who live by desperate times calls for desperate measures, and they're the reasons why our country is messed up. Like, everybody seems to want to point the finger at every other group and not really take responsibility for a role that they not only play in the system that is in play right now, but a role that they could play in being a part of the solution for a plethora of these issues and these problems. So that's why I felt the need to kind of launch this new podcast. So as you can see kind of behind me, if I were to turn off my camera, and you can see my background. I don't know if you can or not. I don't think you can. I think you see my profile thumbnail, but I'll switch it to this background. But like, if I move my head over here, you can see that that's my new logo for my new podcast, US Reconstruction 360. And I also am developing a website for this as well. So if you go to usreconstruction360.com, right now it's a domain name. I think it goes to Pod Brother Nation right now, but I'm going to build a website with all of this content on there, everything that we discuss on these shows. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have a designated time for these shows. I'm just going to pop up randomly as things happen in the news, as things happen in my life, and as things happen in other people's lives that I think is relative, and some things that we should discuss right now. We are going to talk about that. Now, I am excited to let you guys know that I was invited to be one of the 5 comics on a political comedic pundit show called 5 Black Comics, which is produced and hosted by Carl Yard, which is a very funny comedian from Barbados, who I got a chance to meet and work with and develop a relationship when I was in Boston some 30 years ago. So yes, I do have friends that I've known for over 30 years. I know. Who knew? But very, very funny brother, very progressive Black man who, takes a lot of the issues that are happening in the world today very serious, and has a platform to do something about it by inviting some of his comedy friends on, including myself, and doing some comedic takes on some very serious issues that's going down in the world today. And we have guests on, and the guests also bring a pretty unique perspective on their piece of the world based on their expertise. So it's a very informative, very funny, very provocative, very educational show on just issues. There is some venting that goes on there, so I have to put a disclaimer. There's some Black African-American venting that happens, but that's all part of the deal. That's all part of the entertainment, and that's all part of the comedy, but that's all part of the takeaway, that there are some passionate people who are willing to make themselves vulnerable to discuss a lot of these pressing issues that people are trying to sweep under the carpet. So that's every Saturday, which is, what's the times on that? 2 o'clock Pacific Coast time, 5 o'clock Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in New York, 5 o'clock. If you're in Los Angeles, 2 o'clock. So I always get my time zones turned around, and I end up like missing Zooms and showing up at the wrong place, the wrong time, and they'll be like, "Oh no, that was East Coast time. That was West Coast time." It's like, how do you keep all this together? But we managed to do it. So set your calendars and your clocks and your watches to that show, because that show is very provocative, very informative, and fun. You're gonna love everybody who's on there. Everybody's kind of long in the tooth with their comedy game, so they've been around and they've seen a lot, and they've done a lot. So it should be a very interesting show to kind of tap in on. We also have the ability for you folks to tip the comics that are on that show, which if you go to tippingcomedians.com, or if you hit the donate button at the bottom of the Boxcast broadcast, you will be able to tip your favorite comedian on the show. And since I'm on that show, you can definitely tip me. But everybody deserves to be tipped, and that's basically kind of what this show is about. U.S. Reconstruction 360 is about basically focusing on funneling and redistributing wealth in America to Black businesses, Black people, Black family. The Reconstruction back in December 8th of 1863, the Reconstruction period, when the slaves were freed and they were given an opportunity to rebuild the community. And it was amazing. I mean, they got property, they got access to vote. So they voted for some Black congressmen, some Black senates, some local positions. So there was political power in the community, like right off the bat. There was economic power, because the slaves were allowed to own land and then in turn use that land to then become prosperous and share that with each other and grow. And, so I don't know if you know how that story ends, but the South really saw that and was very intimidated by the potential and the prospect and the acceleration of this growth, and they squashed it using every means necessary. 360 degrees of oppression and offense to squash that all. And it still exists to this day. So that's why I started this podcast, this new campaign, because what my idea is, if the oppression and the assault and the abuse is 360 degrees against African Americans since Reconstruction, the only way to reverse that is to create a campaign that addresses all those issues from 360 degrees, but from the opposite direction. So instead of, being in a multi-crossfire of oppression and abuse and violence and systemic systems, we go from the inside out. So that's the idea that I have. So this show is not really just about Black people. It's about everyone, because believe it or not, everybody participates in the oppression and the abuse of where we are. Nobody's immune. So, the opposite of that should be the same. Like, everybody should have the opportunity to participate in the U.S. Reconstruction 360 degrees, going the opposite direction. So that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about 5 Black Comics. And there's 1,000 other programs and shows out there that are kind of taking it 1 degree at a time. So if we approach this problem, this issue, if we approach it 1 degree at a time, and we each focus on just 1 degree, and we have 360 tribes and campaigns and resourceful efforts with commitment and discipline and resource that can address their 1 degree to create Reconstruction for the Black community in America, then I think you will see a drastic change. And that change will not only benefit the African American community, but it also will benefit any and everyone who is within 6 degrees of that effort, because everyone wins. You know, when African American loses in America, so America loses as well. It's not like it's a separated thing. A lot of people, you know, think that, oh, we are separate from those issues because we're white, we're resourceful, we're rich, we got guns, or whatever. We're removed from Black, poor, criminal activity or poverty or lack of education or homeless, but we're all in the same canoe. We're affected by it one way or another. You may not feel it directly, you know, it might be something that you feel indirectly, but we all feel it one way or another. So if we look at it from the point of view that we're all in the same canoe, and you know, there's people rocking it, there's people rowing, there's people drilling holes in the bottom of it and trying to sink it, and there's people trying to patch up as many holes as they can. There's people who are bailing. So we're kind of working against each other in a lot of ways in America, and it's almost like it's oxymoronic that our name is even called United States of America, because right now we are the divided states of America, and that's our real reality. We are very divided. You know, the things that we need to be united on, that train has left the station. So how do we get back to that? I think we take 1 degree and put some smart people on addressing that and see if we can't get back to a unified states, you know, a United States of America. You know, just take 1 degree in that 360 degrees of ideas of how we can, you know, take USA and, you know, kind of reinvent, kind of resurrect a Reconstruction. But instead of for Black freed slaves, the Reconstruction should be for the division of America, the division of the United States. You know, how do we do that? Well, I know I have a lot of ideas of how we can do it. And that's what this show is basically about. It's basically about how we can come up with ideas, one idea at a time, and then put, you know, hundreds of thousands, even millions of people on a one unified common goal for that one idea that can get us to, you know, that unified state that we, you know, we brag about and we claim that we are, which is all basically propaganda. You know, we claim that we are, you know, number one, we're the greatest. You know, USA is number one. You know, we're all free. You know, we're all prosperous, and but that's not the case. That's not true. We're not any of that. We would like to be. You know, we would. You know, we have this thing where we feel that we might be going in the right direction, but we are not quite there yet. You know, American democracy and our is in a final exam right now. So, you know, we're either going to flunk this thing or we're going to pass it, and then, you know, move on to the next phase of, you know, uniting this country that has never really been united. If you look back in history and all the means that it took to unite this country is partly what caused it to divide, because, you know, one of the reasons why Reconstruction was abandoned was because the North wanted the South to unite with the northern states. So in order for the southern states to agree to uniting, to becoming a United States, the South really pressured the North to abandon the Reconstruction efforts. So it's like, it's a little bit oxymoronic, because the unity that was happening with the Reconstruction and uniting free slaves with America was abandoned so that the northern states could unite the southern states for a United States. So the logic in that does not make sense. And the hypocrisy of it all kind of does. And I think we need to like address it, acknowledge it, have some healing and some reparations, some apologies, some recognition, and then put in to place some real efforts to like make that change, make that shift. And I honestly think we can do it. I really do. I mean, I'm optimistic, and I really think that it's something that actually can be done. Now, will I see it in my lifetime? That remains to be seen, because there's so many people on the opposite side of that ideal that are basically have tripled down and locked and loaded in, kind of this racist supremacy conspiracy theories. I doubt that they could even break out of that. I think it's going to be like a very difficult thing for people to, to try to get out of that mentality, it's a doable thing. It definitely is a doable thing. It is 100% totally doable. Whether we can get enough people to sign on to the idea of it, and then, really make the commitment and have the discipline to put it in motion, like for real, is, that's my challenge, or that I should say that's our challenge, because how do you dismantle that? How do you get in someone's heart and soul when they've tripled down on a conspiracy theory that is completely and totally like Looney Tunes cuckoo, and it's even, it's not in sync with your own self-interest, let alone the people who the conspiracy is against. So the conspiracy theory doesn't even benefit you, and you're like, triple down on it. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a very, very difficult road. I don't think it's going to be an impossible road, but I'm not sure that I would see it in my lifetime. I think it's something that we can move in that direction. Maybe there's a generation that we can do and say the right things that might put them in some sort of an understanding where they can be like, hey, we get this and we want to get behind this. Young people have the time and the energy and the passion to galvanize behind concepts. You look at the green movement and all the young people who are behind, the whole environment save the planet movement. If we can get that same kind of energy and young people to get behind, like a Reconstruction movement of putting America in the right direction, then I think there is a chance that we can move up, we can move in. Mr. and VTLC, how are you? I see that you're connecting here. Welcome to the show. I see we have Robin who's here. Let me see if I can pull her into the show. Well, I think maybe we might have lost her. So let's see. Are you there? Can you hear me? All right. All right. I see you, but doesn't look like you can. Well, I don't see you. You don't have your video on. I'm not sure if you're there or not, but that's quite all right. So welcome to the show. So basically, this show is about Reconstruction. It's about, taking what worked in Reconstruction back in 1863 and using some of those formulas to reinvent America with the Reconstruction, but with a focus on Black people, Black economics, and the issues that are in our country today, but also incorporating, U.S. and all the issues and the problems that are going on with what's happening in America, and incorporate that all into like a 360-degree approach to solutions to like so many problems and so many things that we are dealing with in our nation. So that's basically what this show is about. So I'm building a website. It's US Reconstruction 360.com, and you will go there to get all this information. Now, what I want to do is I want to build a community not only of like issues that I can talk about that are solution based to get us to a place where we can build our community, build our country through our community, redistribute wealth into the African American community, which is why I launched it on Black Friday. Like my idea to forgot to hit the record on this bad boy. My idea to do this on Black Friday was to kind of hijack Black Friday and turn this into a different Black Friday, into a Black economics Black Friday, a Black Reconstruction Black Friday, a Black redistribution of wealth Black Friday. So, instead of going out burning off calories from your Thanksgiving dinner and fighting through, the Nintendo aisle, make Black Friday a day where everybody buys something from a Black company or a Black person or a Black community or a Black enterprise, Black service, Black gift cards. If it's if it's a Black company, then support them on Black Friday. Put some of that money into the community and build some wealth and some prosperity. We're a very strong, influential group of people in the world, but it seems that a lot of those revenues does not get funneled into the community. They get funneled, around the community, over the top of the community, around the community, but they seem to never get funneled directly into the community. Why is that? Why is that? It's because we don't have ownership of a lot of the intellectual properties. We don't have the ownership for like the mineral rights of it. We don't have the ownership of the royalties. We don't have, the ownership for a lot of those byproducts of things that we create. And because of that, the community doesn't grow the way it needs to grow, the way it's supposed to grow. the way it actually should be grown. So this show is basically about that. So I chose um, Black Friday to launch. You know, to me, what better way to put this out there than, you know, on Black Friday? You know, the day of shopping, the day of e-commerce. So now, why not make that e-commerce something toward, you know, a real reconstruction? You know, something like um, what we're doing right now. I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, black and white, and these have been some very heated debates about, um, you know, the the building of wealth through free labor and slavery. You know, the byproduct of what that can do for your offspring and where we are today because of it. What can be done about it? Is it something that's just like, okay, well, that just happened and we have nothing to do with it? That's just the way it is. You just have to live with it, you know? Or is it, can we take an approach to, um, you know, like really put, you know, our money where our mouth is? You know, if we're this such a great country and we're so amazing, then why would we not? Why would we not? Um, you know, like take it to the next level, you know, recognize that um, and put something in place to acknowledge and make us really great, you know? Um, so for me, Black Friday is the perfect day to launch this new platform, this new podcast. USA Reconstruction 360 explains it all. Um, we looking at US as a whole, the United States. You know, I'm tired of being the divided states of America. I'm done with that. I want to be the United States of America for a change, because we have never been that. We've been united under complete and total, like negative oxymoronic strategies, which it's like, you know, we want to be united, but not really. You know, we want to say that we're united, but not really. We want to act or pretend like we are going to unite with these folks, but not really. You know, and you look at like all the systemic systems that have been put in place to oppress. That's not a unity. That's not how you unite people. You know, voter oppression, redlining housing, denying access to education, domestic terrorism through, you know, white supremacy. That's not how you unite people. That's not how you unite a nation. That's not necessarily, that's not even how you unite to be prosperous and make money. Like the South, if they had got on board with Reconstruction and then, you know, used um, the the prospect of profit and fair exchange in the marketplace, like they totally could have made more money off the African American community. They could have made more money off those free slaves than trying to squash it all with violence and terrorism. I mean, if you think about it, like they're in the South already. Those businesses are in the South, and you know, the prosperity and the money and the business that would have been made, like everyone in the South would have felt the effect of that, you know, and freed slaves, you know, they were about getting on with their lives and building their family and building a community. You know, there wasn't about like how much revenge can we get on being, you know, um, abused for 400 years. That train had left the station. Nobody was even giving that a thought. Everybody was just like, we're free. We can have a place in politics. We can have a place in the marketplace. We can build our families. Reconstruction was the only time in America where the Black family was the priority, and it was just like a very, very exciting time for Black people to know that they could create a family and that family would stay together because slavery wouldn't separate those families. So just the ideal of that created like an incredibly strong bond with these newly freed slaves. And you've got the unification and the building of the family structure. You've got access to politics. You've got access to the property to build wealth. I mean, everything was in place during Reconstruction to make an amazing world. And if you just leave that alone, like America today would be a billion times wealthier. We would be way more united. I mean, think about it. There would be no efforts put into racism if a huge source of your income is coming from African American businesses and communities. The last thing that you're going to do is try to like create some sort of a racist campaign against that. There would be people be like, "Hey, man, you're messing with my money right now," and it would be a completely different world. But I think we can get there, and this is my idea to do it. So, if you will join me in my efforts, here is my call. Here's what I'm calling for. I'm calling for both white and Black people and anybody in between. This isn't restricted to just. Hey, Sandy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm welcome to my podcast. I'm launching a new podcast today on Black Friday, and it's called U.S. Reconstruction 360. And basically, it is my idea to reunite America using the formula of the Reconstruction that was used for the newly freed slaves back in 1863. And the prosperity and the unity and the excitement that the freed slaves had, having access to politics and to land and to entrepreneurship and creating unified families. It was a very amazing time for African Americans, and the prospect of what can become of that was really becoming known in very short order. There's a lot of progress in those few short years when that was happening. And once it got abandoned and what replaced it was oppression and racism, then they killed a really good thing. So I want to bring it back. I want to unite the United States, which I call the divided states of America. I want to bring that back. I want to unite America with this whole new resurrection of Reconstruction. But instead of for newly freed slaves, we would do it for all of America, with the focus on African American families and businesses, and kind of work our way out from there. So I don't know if you can see my new logo, but that's my new logo. I built that last night.
I see it.
It's very, very symbolic as far as like, what this campaign is going to be about. So I'm going to go on periodically throughout the week as things happen in the news and as people give me information on different ideas of what degree that they want to focus on or what degree they want to add to the campaign. So I'm inviting everybody to give at least one idea on how this works. So for example, the one degree that I'm going to focus on is Black economics through live stream and online entertainment. So I have my movie screens that I'm launching. I've got my podcast networks that are up. I'm working with different African American distributors and producers and directors and writers and comedians. And they all are creating content that can go online for consumption and for sale. So my degree contribution toward the 360 degrees is online African American economics through live stream and the creation and distribution of content. So although I'm passionate about some of the other degrees, I think if we just focus on one thing and we have a team of people that can focus on other things, then I think we can actually come together and we can make a dent. And you being a commercial real estate agent, maybe some of your ideas as far as like how you could contribute is like focusing on, the laws and the business and how it works with, setting up commercial properties for African American businesses. I don't know if that's something that you might be interested in. I think you probably more about just selling as many properties as you can get your hands on to as many people as you can get your hands on as you can find. But at the same time, maybe in the back of your mind, it might be something that you might want to be like, yeah, there is a discrepancy in Black entrepreneurs getting access to commercial real estate so that they can, build wealth. And, what can I do about that? So these are some of the things that I want to get into. And I see we got my man, James. He just logged on. How you doing, my brother? I can't hear you yet. You got to turn your microphone on. James, I'm very, very excited that you tapped into the show because your degree of Reconstruction can be in the creating and producing of Black-owned content. And, I had the opportunity of meeting you several years ago as a co-cameraman on what was it? The BET Gifting Suite. I think that's where we met. And yeah, so I don't think your microphone is connected on the Zoom link here. So I see your meters moving when you talk, but we can't hear you. Ty is on. Let me see here. Ty, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay? Okay,
Yeah.
good, I can hear you. All right, so James, I can hear Ty. I can hear myself, obviously, but I can't hear you. So there's a connection missing. I see your meter. I see your audio meter is dancing when you talk. We just don't hear. I hear clicking now. So I think you're trying to sort it out. But anyway, Ty, James is one of those. I think I told you about James as one of the secret weapons for our coalition that you're.
That nigga sick.
I'm not sure if you're gonna hear that.
Okay, I'll hear you.
Okay, that's
We
not
can hear
good.
you now.
So he was still coming this way.
Okay, well, the problem is it dips out with the camera audio. But give me a second to work on this.
Oh, so yeah, James is one of these brothers I think I was telling you about is kind of like he's like a twin me, as far as like, having access to, all the equipment and lights and sounds and mics and cameras and all the expertise that comes along with it. Like myself, he has a studio space that he rents in Los Angeles for doing shows. He also has an online network and servers where where we can put like unique content on specific designated servers. So we don't even have to use like a server platform. We can put our content on his servers and then use that as access to accessing the content. So he is long in the tooth with how to do a lot of this stuff, and he has access to a lot of resource. And his brother is involved in a project. I don't really want to get too deep into it, but it's very, very exciting. It has to deal with professional sports teams and my
Just wave.
Hey, how you doing, my brother?
What's going on?
I'm just here kicking off my new podcast, man. US Reconstruction 360. It's all about how to resurrect the reconstruction of what went down in 1863 and bring it to 2021, and redistribute some wealth in this country into the Black hands where it belongs, so that we can do some incredible stuff with it. So that's what this show is about right now.
Getting that.
Yeah. So what you're about to do with what you're doing,
Okay,
and
I'm
you got
really not getting
studios
going.
set up in Vegas. Like you're definitely like one of the 60 degrees.
Okay, I'm not getting anything out.
I can. So can you hear me, James?
No. I was trying to get the outside speaker. I got the headphones on, and the problem is, yeah, I'm trying to get the outside speakers working. I had it working.
Are you running through a mixer? If you run through a mixer, you can split the signal. Or are you going straight through the
No,
computer?
I'm going straight through.
You should get you one of those
Shoot.
Behringer mini mixers, which is what I use with a USB connect.
Yeah, I'm not getting
And
it.
that
Oh, okay.
Headphones, I can split into my system. I can split it off into my broadcaster. I can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. So I was at that point of the
I had
show.
it doing it, and it just really it just gobbled up.
You sure it's on the right sound card? Sometimes they switch sound cards.
Well, I have the. Hold on, I have to go back. Okay, he's got a phone call. I was trying to go with.
He can't see us now, huh?
No, he can see us, and I think he's getting audio feed, but I can't get anything back out of it.
I can see you and I can
That's
hear
the
you.
problem we're having.
So,
And
but you can only hear me through your
set up the
headphones, right?
speaker to this, but for some reason it's not trying to go. See that?
It's not trying.
Yeah, it's on our end.
Yeah, well, you're coming in. I can hear you.
I mean, it'll work inside here.
So it's just that you can't hear me through your system. You can only hear me through your headphones. So Wayne can't hear me. But you.
Oh, same. Okay. Let me see.
Yeah. So all right. So before I get into my 360 degrees solutions, I'm gonna open it up for any comments. So
it should come out right through these speakers.
Ty, you got any anything you want to chime in on this? Any ideas? Any pushback? Any holes you want to punch in the canoe? Where are you coming from?
No, I think in principle it's great. I think in theory it's a really good thing. The experiences I'm having is just getting people to commit to the idea, to really understanding the bigger picture, the long-term goal, and the setup. That's going to be the tough part, because you have to break cultural norms, negative cultural norms, because, like, generally speaking, Black youth and up until like their mid 30s, they don't understand education. Like, they don't value it the same as other ethnic groups, right? So
Right.
it's frowned upon. So if you see a black student, we all had the same story, doing well in school. Oh, you're trying to be white. Like it's seen as a negative to be educated. Whereas if you go to a school that's predominantly Jewish or private school, they love to get educated or look for new avenues to be better and and grow. So like there's been many public speakers who've come to all black schools that refuse to go back because they're like, look, man, when I come here to try and talk to these kids, they're either on their phones, not listening, not looking, not paying attention, like singing and playing around. When I go to the Caucasian or Asian schools or the Jewish schools, these guys got pencils out, taking notes, wondering, what to do, asking the right questions. So, like I said, long story less long. I think what you're doing and what you're trying to do is great, and it can be done. But I think we have to look at it as we're only going to take willing participants and not waste time on those who don't want to get better, because there's going to be a great deal of people wasting time. So, like for example, I was a pro athlete and I had agents, right? There's always a group of young black talented men, athletes, who would have a family member represent them. This dude had no formal training, no understanding of social skills in that type of climate, no understanding of what to ask for, what not to ask for, uh, etiquette when it comes to these type of things. But then they say, "Oh, well, this is my uncle. He's going to talk for me," and then you end up with these kids getting in the slavery contracts or horrible deals, or young rappers coming out getting whored out. Why? Because lack of understanding, and they're trying to quote unquote put somebody on. These are the kind of cultural things you're going to have to fight through, or we're going to have to fight through. So I
Mhm.
would just say, understand your audience. Don't waste time on people who aren't going to get it. Just know that of the total black population, maybe 5% really wants to be better, really wants to change and do things better. So I think we just need to know that starting off,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Because it's tough to break that culture.
It does make sense. It does make sense. Those are very, very, very good words, and it's coming from a place of experience, because I know what you're saying is the truth, based on what you've experienced, and I know, based on what you have witnessed with, things that you've tried to do in high schools or in a college, and I've done lectures in high schools and colleges for years. I've done my comedy, and you're absolutely right. You're kind of wasting good resource on, bad prospects if they aren't willing to, open themselves up for the concept, and to learn and to get involved and engage. But I also think, you know, I'm not the type of person who suffers fools too. If they're not flowing, I'm not wasting really any time on them. I'm gonna go for people who kind of understand and get what I'm talking about, and they want to like ask about, okay, what is this about, so that I can maybe get involved if I want to get involved. And those are the people that I really want to spend and invest time into explaining what this is about, and kind of coaching and guiding them to find the one degree that isn't going to take up a whole lot of bandwidth in their daily struggle and survivals. Because here's what happens with Black folks: we're very, very, very passionate about the issues, very passionate about injustices, very vocal about a whole lot of things that needs to be fixed. But what happens is we're so thin to the skin in our own survival, we can never organize enough to galvanize any of them. And because of that, we never get traction. we get sucked into a knee-jerk emotional reaction that is a 24 to 36-hour window with no plan of action, no plan to unify, no plan to create a follow-up coalition to address the hard work that's going to come with making the change, even when the door is open. So we have a tendency to open the door, but we never go in. And if we do go in, we don't even have a friggin' plan. We don't have.
But that's by design.
I know that, but that's the thing. If we can see it and we can reverse engineer it, then we can maybe get someplace. And that's what this is about. Now, we're people who don't give a squat about it. We don't want them. They can hang on the sidelines. We don't care. They can be part of the numbers to make us look large, but they don't necessarily have to do squat. We'll do all the work. Just be in the crowd so we look like we're a lot of people. But you don't have to do anything. Just be with us, and that's okay too. But the people who are willing to create the bandwidth and use the resource that they have to initiate the change by getting in the door with a plan, that's the people that I want to reach. That's the people I want to touch with this idea. And that's all this is. This is an idea. This is an ideal. This is in my head. This is, what's up, Alvin Hartley from New York? What's happening?
Yo, man. So I heard you call for a warrior. Oh.
I need my word. I need my Wakandan warriors, baby.
So you called on the expendable. We got a mission, guys. Yo, you in? I'm down.
Yeah, Alvin, thanks for coming on. Yeah, Alvin's one of my, when you go through your life and you talk about your brother Fix and your brother Fins, well, everybody on here right now, I can call my brother Fix, but Alvin has been with me for almost 30-something years now. I was his best man.
I look like that commercial, don't I? Hey, Steve, I look like that commercial, right? Yeah. Yo, Alvin, go get a better shirt. Then you put some starch in that motherfucker.
Starch.
Nah, nigga, you just need to do fucking shirt.
This is a no N-word show, man. You know my show.
I'm sorry, man.
My wife calls those bacon collars.
Okay, go get yourself a non-broke brother shirt.
I have to come and choke you out again, man. How many times I got to choke you out for the N-word on my show?
Hey,
man?
yo, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's all in my dialogue. I don't care because it's wartime. When it comes down to wartime, I ain't got time to be taking out no popsicle gun. Okay? It is what it is. It's because I was listening to you. You're right. You got to go in with a mission. You can't you can't tippy-toe in doing what you got to do. This is real.
Yeah.
And you've always been.
But here's the thing. Here's what I've learned. A lot of white folks don't take you serious when you throw around the N-word.
Excuse me. I don't worry about what white folks think. That's our problem. I don't worry about what white folks think is because white folks don't pay attention to what we think. Yeah. White folks will come in a room and talk to us like a piece of garbage and then look you in the face. Bob, Alvin, I really don't understand why you upset.
But that's part one.
What white folks think.
But here's what you should care. You should care about what black folks think.
But I'll go with that again. I am the uncle that you don't invite to the barbecue. Now you know I'm a good uncle, but I'm the uncle. I don't get drunk, but I'm the uncle. You're gonna sit at the table. I'm the uncle who's gonna say, "Listen, I don't say poupon. I say pass the mustard." That is it. That is me. And I love you. I will ride or die with you. But I like ketchup. We cannot sit there. I'm the brother who you say, Lord, I don't want to call this brother, but I know if I need somebody, he's there. That is just me. I finally got to accept me.
But you understand, you understand why I love you and have you on my team 24/7, because you're a perfect example of my 360. So you're the brother who's the 359 who comes exactly how you come in. You kick the door open, you don't suffer no fools, and then black or white, if you ain't coming correct, you're about to get choked out.
But I respect you, Steve. But
we need those brothers in those degrees. That's why my whole thing is 360 degrees.
But we need you. We need you, Steve, because I learned with you. That's why I love you so much. You know, because I will go off the handle. You say, okay, I got you. We got this now. Sit down. Okay, Steve, just let me know when you want me to get back up. Just sit down now. We got this, okay? That's where the love comes. And you're right, because I'm not balanced without you. You bring the balance to me.
I think it's a good balance, man, just because I come from the same idea. You shouldn't care generally what white people think, because their opinions don't help us either way or any direction, meaning they'll give you advice that they won't even take. Or they'll tell you, you should do this, you should do that. Black people need to do this and do that, while they get the spoils of us doing the action.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think, to go back to what you were saying, Kimbro, was it's about attention, meaning we're the only group that gets our attention pushed in every bullshit rally that comes up. Like, think about it like this. How many Asians have you seen at a transgender rally? How many Asians have you seen at a feminist rally?
Not too many.
How many Asians do you see at an anti-Trump rally or pro-Trump rally?
Mm-hmm.
Yet Asian men make the most money in America right now.
Mm-hmm.
People don't think about that, right? So now the scale is switched. It goes Asian men, white men, Hispanic men, extra men, and then black men.
Well,
that's the totem pole.
I don't know if you can hear me well, but I mean, it is a problem, because number one, when it comes to like allowing black business to get loans, they're going to give Asian people a better setup for a loan, where we have to really do the extra mile to get anything, any kind of benefits. If we want a financial institution to back us up, we don't get that credibility. We don't have the same, I guess, I don't want to say pull, but I noticed that when Asians can get,
Go ahead, James.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say that there's black banks like One United, but the thing with One United, they make everything so goddamn difficult to work with them. Versus if I go to Wells Fargo to open a business account, I know what paperwork I need and I know what ID I need, and I try to do the same at One United, which is a black bank, because I was trying to push my finances to them. Dude, it's like a fucking week-long marathon of, hey, we need this paper, we need that paper, oh, we need this, we need to do that. And I'm like, okay. So then I asked, I was like, okay, do you have this capability? Do you have an app? Do you have this service? Oh, no, we don't have it. So I'm like, we're in the 21st century in a pandemic where everything is online and I can't use you. So,
Steve,
you know what I mean? Like,
well, Mr. Luke, I want to let you talk first, Steve. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me make two quick comments on what Ty says, because it's very, very interesting, and you make some very good points, Ty. And I don't know this to be a fact, but it could be, because it's a black bank, they could be under a microscope for being compliant, and other banks might not be looked at as close as a black bank might have a microscope on them, and not able to maybe get away with a few things here or there, and they have to be 100% compliant, which trickles down to like doing service with you, number one. And I don't know that to be true, but I'm just being a devil's advocate there. But
let me know when I can tag in. Yeah. Let me know when I can tag. Go ahead, brother.
You
Go
can.
ahead, Jay.
Let me make this other point that Ty brought out about like the Asian men and how they're able to get things. One of the reasons why I'm so adamant about like the N-word in our community is Asian people, aren't so quick to throw around some, derogatory slang given to them by white men, which means something derogatory about them, and then turn around and ask for a loan. it's like there's certain, you know, kind of tribal and custom, you know, inner community respect that you have for each other. And, you know, the reverse psychology of that, our community is what is why we aren't taken serious on a lot of things we try to do across the board, where you don't see that with Asian people. You don't see that with Asian men. And I think that's one of the many things that contribute to having access. So I'm not saying that you should care about what white or black people, you know, think about you, what you say or do. But at the same time, we should care, because there is a degree of self-respect. There is a degree of reverse psychology that you don't bite into from other ethnicities that are put into play in our communities, and that we double down on. So
here's what Al Sharpton said, and then I'm gonna tell you guys about the money thing. Steve, I got you. Al Sharpton says, what was it? Coretta King said to Al Sharpton, be careful what you say. Don't try to say something to win the war today, to win the battle today. Say something that you'll be able to win the war. So don't say something because it sounds good for the moment. I got you. You have to be careful what you say. I'm with you on that, okay? But I'm tired of dumbing down stuff. You want to talk about the N-word? That's fine. Then they're going to come and say, by the way, you need to act this way. Then you need to do this. And you need to do that. We need to think for ourselves. I'm not worrying about, and understand, I'm agreeing with you. One knows how to discipline themselves in front of white folks. Don't get me wrong. We all know how to discipline ourselves in front of white folks. But when we get with each other, be your damn self. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
When we're behind the closed door, I'm gonna be myself. Oh Lord, I'm just saying, don't tell me how I need to be with my family. You're my family. Oh Lord, Alvin is gonna start saying, yeah, but that's it. But you know, Alvin is there. Now let me show you. Ty mentioned about the funding, right? Ty mentioned the black bank, then he mentioned a white bank. Okay. Steve Kimball, some of the points you made sense about maybe the potential challenges that minority-owned banks have compared to the general market bank. But here's what I teach everybody, our clients and all the people that work with our company: stop banking on the damn bank. You see, they never taught us about alternative funding. The banks ain't where the money comes from. We were never taught where money comes from other places. We were always taught to go to the bank. Fuck the bank.
Okay,
true.
that was the I'm in some right now. That's one of the issues when Ty mentioned about the banks they're under scrutiny. And
I'll be back later.
Okay, you guys take it easy.
Okay, I'll call you later.
I'm sorry about that, guys. The problem is when it comes with these banks, black banks.
We know you in your UPS truck. I got it.
Oh no, this is my brother's hat.
Oh yeah, with the package in the back. I know you in the UPS truck.
No. This is my house. This is my house. If I dip it down, you're gonna see. Look, that's the washing machine.
You know you don't break UPS and your brake is up, son.
It's a UPS.
Hey, I gotta head out. Talk to you later, okay? I'm gonna talk to you later. I gotta head out.
All right, brother.
All right.
Gotta make that
so that's my brother.
That was your boss, right?
Not to cut.
Oh no, that's my brother. He's gonna go shoot a music video. He's gonna go shoot a video.
We know that's your UPS boss, but go ahead, continue.
I love that. That was cool.
When we was kids, he was the boss. But the problem with okay, hey guys, take it easy.
Okay, not to cut you off, but talk to me. I might have some lenders that lend to companies like yours. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, we'll talk. Yeah. Okay. So the problem with these financial institutions is they're usually using other people's money.
Thank you.
And that's where the scrutiny comes under. But what they are is what do you call them? Secure party creditors. And yeah, you can literally become your own bank.
Thank you.
You can become your own bank. There's paperwork behind it.
You could literally do that and become your own institution. And that's where we probably have to start figuring out where we have to do that. Not to figure it out. It's there. It's there. There are people, there's black folks that are doing that. They're becoming their own bank. They're not disclosing a lot of that, but they're out there able to sit there and like, well, yeah, we can cover ourselves with about 600 million. So I was on that trail to getting that done. Basically, I just a lot of work, a lot of issues. I have a company of my own, and I kind of got sidetracked. But yeah, we can use ourselves as collateral. We invest back in ourselves. We could. That's where it starts. If we really want to sit there, okay, we don't have to go to you as a bank. We can basically collateralize. We can use ourselves as collateral and become our own secure party creditor, and we can basically build up our own community.
No, and more or less, I agree. That's what I was getting to with the differences in the bank. Is like everything is going to be made difficult for us regardless, and you know that going into it. So if you know that, why not pull our resources to help everybody that looks like us?
Bottled water at the bottom of the refrigerator.
Like if you
go ahead, Alvin. No, Ty. Okay, I'm just keeping it. What's happening here is, to me, black folks are doing that. Let me show you where we got a couple of things we got to get out. Black folks are working with each other. We are doing that. Okay. A lot of us are frustrated because we don't see it enough so that we can move even as a more collective unit forward. We're doing it. They're doing it. The thing about it is that we're starting to catch up with what we were not taught, what we didn't have access to. It's a big thing. You got to remember, if you start learning all the history of what government has done and what private industry has done, it's going to take us a minute to catch up, but we're doing our best to catch up. So I work all in this money industry, and I can tell you I'm working with white folks that can't even keep up with me, with the type of money I move around. Steve, you know what I do, okay? They can't even keep up with me. So I don't worry about that. My job is to make sure that Steve, Ty, James, all of y'all say, yo, Alvin, what do we need to move forward? That's it. Because we're good people. We are so dynamic in what we do. Sometimes we get frustrated and we think we're not doing it. We are doing it. The 4 brothers on here are doing it. The 4 brothers will turn into 8 brothers, turn into 10 brothers, turn into 30 brothers. And we will think forward. I beg pardon?
And sisters too.
Oh, no. I'm family. I'll just call it family.
Okay, I like that better.
Okay, I'll just call it family. Right now, there's 4 black men on this sucker here. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want some sister. Hey. But the point of it is that we're doing it. I will not go for complaining about how screwed up we are. I want to go for, okay, like Steve Kimball said in the beginning, what is the agenda? I don't want to hear about what happened in the past, because we all know what happened in the past. But and Stephen, we always talk military terminology. We're going to go take over that building, right? Yeah. We got a plan? No. So what the hell we taking over the damn building for? We need a plan. What you going to do? You going to do the bomb, right? How you do a bomb? Oh, we screwed. Okay. You're the one that's going to hold down the first floor. What number is that? Oh, damn. If you don't go in with an agenda, if you don't go in with a plan, then when you get in there, you're going to get messed up. And then when you get in there, you can't get scared and run out the front door that you came in. You got to follow yourself all the way through. So that's what we are doing now. Here's the joke, and I'm sorry if I'm talking so much, because I'm sorry, Steve. I know this is your fault.
Go ahead. You got
now, here's the joke. I was just telling another one of my colleague who looks like I may bring it on to the company. I said, the Republicans told Trump, you're doing a good job. Now, listen to me now. You're doing a good job. Whatever you do, don't wake up them black people. Trump like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm the best thing that ever happened to him. No, don't say that, Lord. Trump kept on saying, black folks, I'm better than Lincoln. This Mazza here has always helped you. And another thing with you black folks, y'all can't vote the way I want y'all to vote. That was going on a black man's door, ringing his doorbell, waking him up. Okay, who the hell got my door? He opened his door, and a white man said, "You can't vote." The black man closed his door, got on the phone, said, "Did you hear what this vote did?" Then all them black folks started calling each other. Trump woke us up. What was the best thing for us? Because in white America, they would say, whatever you do, don't wake them up. Let them be complacent. Let them think that we are helping them. Let them think that we're giving them opportunities, and they will go to sleep. Whatever you do, don't you ever tell black people they can't do anything. And that's why Trump lost. Simple. Yeah. Trump, now the Republicans are going to act like we really want black people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving the Democrat, because I ain't too fancy on Nancy Pelosi neither. Come on now. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi fucking us every which way, including Sunday with her old ass self. Her and Schumer.
Alvin, you know what I think should be done? And I honestly believe this. I think, you know, since Trump hijacked the Republican Party, I think the black people should hijack the Republican Party back, but instill the ideals of the original Reconstruction in 1863. Can you imagine?
Absolutely.
Can you imagine if African Americans decided after this Trump awakening to be like, okay, we are going to hijack the Republican Party and our platform is going to be identical to Reconstruction.
Black people, yes.
Well, you're already there. That movement's happening right now.
Black people need to hijack the Republican Party.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah. And then we can like put into play like all the playbooks from Reconstruction, including
absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd be down for that. Like no problem.
Yeah, but the thing about it, let me show you, go on the opposite side, who fucked us in Florida, in Miami. Does anybody know who fucked us in Florida, Miami?
Like there was like 15 or 20 black coalitions.
No. You know we would have won Miami. You know that. You know why we didn't win Miami?
Yeah, because of the word socialist with the Cubans.
Absolutely. The Cubans who forgot that they are dark-skinned people that think that they white. And a Cuban reporter said, all the Cubans think they white. The Cubans fed that garbage to the Venezuelan and other Cubans that came over that didn't understand the structure of this country. The Cubans, okay? But if we go back, like you said, Steve, and if we go and we hijack the Republican Party, okay, and gays, you got me? And women hijack the Republican Party, because Republicans are not that smart. They're not.
You know where Republicans are losing the battle the most? It's in technology. It's in updating their resumes in terms of understanding people. Like they are horrible at it. But like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and that little group, they hire a bunch of tech savvy people to do a lot of things Republicans refuse to do. Like she has a Twitch. That Twitch gets over 1 million people. And she put little ads in there like, go vote. Go vote. Democrats are on Twitch. Things like that. TikTok. There's a big movement on TikTok with all these Democrats taking advantage of it. Stuff Republicans refuse to do. Even little things that go so far. Like there's Democratic people on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok saying, hey, you know, we're not against marijuana at all. That's all. That's it. They didn't say we're going to change laws. They didn't say we were going to decriminalize. They just said, hey, we're not against marijuana. And then you go look at the likes under there. There's like 2 million likes in a week from just that comment. That's where Republicans kind of failed. That, and I think black people are very attached to the new idea of what a Republican is. So it kind of scares them away. Like, oh, that's the white party. Oh, that's the racist party. I can't be that. But like you said, and I agree with you, it's happening. Because there's a big movement of black conservatives trying to take over the Republican Party right now.
Not
there's
only
a lot
that,
of views on YouTube.
Not
No,
only
ahead,
that, Ty,
ahead.
you made a good point, Ty. We also saw what white conservatism is. Racist is a mother. Racist. Evangelicals, racist. They all showed how racist and how gullible and how greedy. They cannot turn that clock back. They can't. You can't ask someone to believe in Jesus Christ and say, but by the way, I'm sorry if he goes around and does all of that. I can push aside what he's saying. No, you can't. You can push aside a man and say he knows the Bible better than you, but doesn't want to quote a verse out of the Bible. You accepted the devil in disguise? Unacceptable. So you're right, Ty. You're right, Steve. It's about the hijacker. So at the end of the day, what the four of us are going to do? I know what I'm doing, but what are we going to do? Steve, you the captain. What building are we going to storm? What direction are we going to go?
My idea with the whole U.S. Reconstruction 360 is for, to find 360. Oh, we lost you, Alvin. I think you're muted.
Huh?
Alvin, lost you. We lost your microphone.
No, I think he's still on.
I'm still.
Yeah, he's still on. He was listening to you.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Because I can't hardly hear your ass. Step up to the mic, boy. I can't hear you.
My bad.
Say it with your chest, Steve.
So my idea with this whole U.S. Reconstruction 360 is to take a scientific approach to it. My experience with dealing with racism in America has always come from 360-degree approach of oppression to me. My entire life, no matter where I go, there's no recess from racism, oppression, systemic systems. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I'm being attacked from 360 degrees, then why not? The only way that it's going to be fixed is not those single, isolated, knee-jerky, emotional, reactive, 1 degree issue at a time, or 2 or 3 degrees at a time. It needs to be a 360-degree approach because we're being attacked from 360 degrees.
Yeah, you don't want. So it sounds like you really. Oh, I'm sorry.
So my idea was, what if we got 360 people, most of them black, but we can get some people involved that really know the strategy of white oppression, white systemic systems, and we can put them on 1 degree of dismantling systemic systems that's been created in a sophisticated manner by white people. What better to put on that than a white person? So I didn't want to limit it to just black people, because initially I wanted to limit it to just black people, but then I realized black people is only a part of the solution. We still need white people involved to dismantle other parts of systemic racism that we can't even get to. So it needs to be open to all people who get the concept, who understand that they're willing to commit and have discipline, put their resources for the 1 degree they will address. So some white dude might come on and be like, you know what, Kimber, I'm down for what you're doing. I want to take on 1 degree, and that's discrimination in the banking system, or that's systemic system in housing, or that's the prison industrial complex, where black people that can't even get access to those people to even start dismantling it, or figuring out how to redirect it. So I gave it a lot of thought over the course of about 8 to 10 years on what we could do. And we get these knee-jerky emotional protests and nothing gets done. And it's just like, it's a deeper problem. We need more people participating. We need all people participating. We need experts that are willing to take on one specific thing and then attack that specific thing. So, like Alvin,
Yeah.
you're in New York. You know, you've been doing what you do, Black business development, Black business consultation, um, teaching Black people and Black businesses how to manage, build, find, organize finances, all the amenities that they need to start a business, accounting, lawyers, websites, marketing, like like your one degree is what you've been doing your whole life, and that is educating Black people to be entrepreneurs and providing them the resources to get there without going out and robbing a bank to do it. And like with Ty, he's building a Black coalition of content creators, and content distributors. So, his byproduct is making entertainment that is going to change the world, that's going to move the world, and that's going to, completely and take Hollywood and flip it upside down using playbooks from Hollywood studios, using playbooks from Tyler Perry, using playbooks from, his own experience in filmmaking, directing, producing, distribution. So that could be his one degree. You know, James, is maybe it's on the production side and creating, a Black production coalition that will equalize employment in film industry when it comes to like who's eligible for Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. So when you look at who actually works on the films and the song, and it's a Black project, or it's Black content, or it's a Black narrative, and then all these white people are going on stage and getting all the awards and getting all the juice. And then if you look at if they were to color code the credits on every TV show, every album, every movie, and everything that was a yellow was like a person of color was on the crew. Everything was white was the white person. You might have, maybe 1, 2, 3% of those names in yellow. The rest of them will all be white, and that's on 100,000 different things. So, James, could be, let's develop and evolve a lot of skill and trade with, Black crew people, production people, sound people, camera people.
Steve, let me see. Let me get this straight. 360. Are you trying to do a full 360 with multiple areas in society where people are addressing that? Am I correct?
I'm correct. So if we were to identify 360 offenses for oppressing Black people, then we would need to create an opposing force for that degree.
So now, Steve, I got you. Now the 300, because I'm helping. I'm just throwing out ideas because I need my head to wrap around it to understand which way you're going. So we're just brainstorming.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Think of a football team. Okay, we come out with our 11, and we're badass athletes. We're the fastest, strongest of our state, of our school. Like, we're the baddest. We hold Guinness Book World Records. We're badass 11 dudes. And then 360